From London, I'm Peter Stewart. I thought I'd do that little bit at the start of this particular episode. Why not ring the changes, get a better broadcast, podcast and video voice. I've got a background, a career in radio and TV studios. Hosted thousands of radio and TV shows and bulletins and podcasts and so on, and was a voice trainer for the BBC as well. Travelled the country and trained people how to read the news, how to read out loud, and essentially that's what I'm doing with these short daily podcasts, helping you with breathing and reading, inflection and projection and phonation and resonation, and all sorts of things to help you get a better broadcast, podcast and video voice. And at the moment, we're talking about diction, really, and following on from yesterday. And we're talking about, over the next couple of days, some of the most common articulation alterations. Some of the most common kind of sound alterations to standard English articulation, which you may hear in other people, you may hear in yourself. Perhaps you're not aware that you do it. Again, I'm not saying you should change. I'm merely highlighting some of the issues that some people have. Although even using the word issues arguably is wrong. But let's take a little look at some of these. I mean, first of all, there's substitutions, where people swap sounds, or when reading, they swap letters for other sounds. So instead of these and those, becomes dees and does, dis and dat. So to create the th sound, you almost literally bite your tongue. Or rabbit, which turns to wabbit, maybe because of a weak R sound, and you might need some kind of speech therapy if you wish to change that sound. Not saying you should, but in case you do want to. Another substitution, inundated, becomes unindated. Yes, swapping around those initial vowels. Another change that some people make are additions, including extra sounds rather than substitutions. Extra sounds where they don't exist. Burlack for black. Remembrance rather than remembrance. Athlete. And also communal rather than communal. Or affectations, putting on a pronunciation because of a misplaced sense of coolness or authority. We spoke a few days ago, in fact we've spoken about it a couple of times, voice morphing, where you change your voice to fit in with the people around you and the time and the situation that you're in. And sometimes those pronunciations for affectation or to fit in become recognised new words or spellings. So instead of brother, could be brother, or and I've heard this one as well, where you perhaps try and make yourself almost sound a little bit posher than maybe you are. Have you heard of the mountain range, the Himalayas? No? Some people, I have heard people say, oh yes, the Himalayas, instead of the Himalayas. So those kinds of affectations may be wanting to be down with the kids, down with the youth, or maybe rise above and put yourself in another social class. Not saying any of those are wrong, merely highlighting them. So those are three: the substitutions, the additions and the affectations. Tomorrow we'll look at three more: the distortions, the omissions and the syllable errors, as Get a Better Broadcast, Podcast and Video Voice continues. From London, I'm Peter Stewart.